Marcus Chen stared at the bridge through his taxi windshield. 3 a.m. Rain hammering the roof like accusations he couldn't escape. This bridge, this exact spot where his life had shattered 15 months ago. The police lights, the handcuffs, the cameras, a student's lie that destroyed everything before the truth could save him. He'd been an award-winning teacher. 15 years building trust, then one accusation, sexual harassment, later proven completely false, and it all vanished. By the time the investigation cleared him, the damage was done. The school mutually agreed he should resign. His wife left, taking their daughter. Parents who'd once praised him now crossed streets to avoid him, became invisible, worse than invisible, became the man people pretended not to see. Depression swallowed him whole. Some days he couldn't get out of bed. Most days he wished he wouldn't wake up. The only job he could find was this, driving a taxi at night, alone in the dark. Perfect for a man who wanted to disappear. Tonight marked 15 months since the accusation. 15 months since he'd taught a class. 15 months of wondering if his life had any purpose left. As rain blurred the windshield, Marcus made a decision. After this shift, he'd come back to this bridge. But he wouldn't be driving. His phone buzzed. A pickup request. University campus. He almost declined his last fare of a life he'd already quit. But muscle memory took over. He drove. The passenger was a young woman, maybe 20. Soaked through, mascara running. She climbed into the back seat and said nothing. Just stared out the window. Where to? Anywhere. Just drive. Marcus recognized that voice. Not the accent or the tone. The weight. The exhaustion of someone carrying something too heavy. He'd heard it in his own voice for 15 months. You okay? He asked. Stupid question. She laughed bitterly. Does anyone ever answer that honestly? Fair point. They drove in silence. Marcus watched her in the rearview mirror. She was texting someone, then deleting it, typing again, deleting again. Her hands were shaking. I failed my midterms, she said suddenly. All of them. I'm pre-med. Full scholarship. My parents sacrificed everything to get me here from Taiwan. Everything. And I failed. I can't go home and tell them I failed. Her voice cracked. I can't disappoint them again. Marcus's chest tightened. He knew this script. He'd taught long enough to recognize it. Where are we going? He asked gently. The one by the river. His hands gripped the steering wheel. That bridge. It's bridge. She was going to jump, and he was driving her there. What's your name? Marcus asked, keeping his voice steady. Does it matter? Yes. Silence. Then, Lily. Lily, I'm Marcus. And I need to tell you something before we get to that bridge. He didn't know where the words came from. For 15 months, he'd been mute. Now, they poured out. I was a teacher, biology. 15 years, I loved it. Then a student lied about me, said I did something I didn't do. By the time the truth came out, I'd lost everything. My job, my family, my name. I thought about ending it many times. Thought, what's the point of living when your purpose is gone? He glanced in the mirror. Lily was looking at him now. But here's what I learned. Purpose doesn't die when your plans do. It transforms. I thought my purpose was teaching biology in a classroom. Maybe it wasn't. Maybe my purpose is teaching life on a night when someone needs it most. Maybe I lost everything so I'd be right here, right now, to tell you failing midterms isn't failing life. You don't understand, Lily said, tears streaming. My parents gave up everything. I'm supposed to be the doctor. The success story. If I fail, then you fail, Marcus interrupted gently. And it'll hurt, and they'll be disappointed. And you'll have to face that. But Lily, listen to me. Disappointing people isn't the same as destroying your purpose. One semester doesn't define 15 years of life ahead, unless you decide it does, unless you end the story before you see what comes next. They sat at a red light, rain pounding. I'm so tired, Lily whispered. I know, Marcus said. Me too. But tired isn't the same as done. What if tomorrow is different? What if next week you find a tutor? What if next month you realize pre-med wasn't your path anyway? What if your purpose isn't what your parents dreamed, it's something you haven't discovered yet? You can't find out if you stop the story tonight. Lily was crying now. Really crying. The kind of crying that comes when someone finally hears you. Will you take me home? she asked. Please, just take me to my dorm. Marcus smiled. First real smile in 15 months. Yes. Absolutely yes. As they drove, Lily talked. About pressure, about fear, about feeling invisible under the weight of expectations. Marcus listened. Just listened, like he used to with students who stayed after class. When they reached her dorm, Lily hesitated. Thank you, she said. For not taking me to the bridge? Thank you, Marcus replied. It's for reminding me why I was a teacher. It wasn't about biology. It was about moments like this. She walked inside. Marcus sat in his taxi, hands shaking. He'd just stopped someone from jumping him. The man who'd been planning the same thing. The phone buzzed again. Had another passenger, he almost went home. Then he accepted it. Maybe tonight wasn't over. The address was a run-down apartment complex. A woman in her 30s waited outside in the rain, holding a sleeping toddler. She looked exhausted, scared. She climbed in carefully, trying not to wake the child. Children's hospital, she said. Emergency room. Marcus heard the terror in her voice. Is she okay? Fever? High fever? I don't have insurance, but I have to go. I have to. Her voice broke. They drove. Marcus watched her in the mirror. She was counting money. Bills and coins spread across the car seat. Counting and recounting. Mommy's here, she whispered to the sleeping child. We're going to make you better, I promise. Marcus's heart broke. He recognized this too. The parent who'd sacrifice anything, everything. What's your name? He asked. Sarah, I'm Marcus. How high is her fever? 104. It won't go down. I tried everything. Sarah's hands were shaking as she counted again. I have $63. That's all I have. Rent's due tomorrow, but she's sick. I have to choose. I have to choose my daughter. But then we lose our apartment. We'll be homeless. But she's sick. I don't know what to do. She started crying, trying to be quiet so the toddler wouldn't wake. Marcus pulled over, turned around to face her. Sarah, listen to me. You take her to that hospital, you get her treated. You don't think about the money, you hear me? Your daughter's health comes first, always. But the rent, we'll figure it out after. First, your daughter. He reached for his wallet, pulled out everything. $240. Tips from tonight, rent money. Didn't matter. No, Sarah said. I can't take, you're not taking. I'm giving. There's a difference. Marcus handed her the money. This covers your emergency room copay, maybe more. You use it. You take care of your little girl. You don't worry about anything else tonight, just her. Okay, Sarah stared at the money. At him? Why would you do this? Marcus thought about Lily, about the 15 months of darkness, about the moment purpose finds you when you stop looking. Someone needed to, he said simply, and I was here. That's enough. They drove to the hospital. Marcus waited while Sarah registered, watched her fill out forms. The little girl woke up crying softly, scared. Sarah held her, whispering comfort. Marcus remembered his own daughter. How long since he'd seen her? His ex-wife had full custody. Supervised visits only. The accusation had made him dangerous in the court's eyes, even after being cleared. Sarah came back out briefly. They're seeing her now. The fever's from an ear infection. Treatable. She'll be okay. Her eyes filled with tears. Because of you. She'll be okay because you were here. Marcus felt something shift. Something he hadn't felt in 15 months. Purpose. Real purpose. It's not the kind you plan. The kind that finds you. I'm glad I was here, he said honestly. Sarah hugged him. Quick. Then rushed back inside. Marcus sat in his taxi. Rain stopping, dawn approaching. 2 fares, 2 lives. The 2 moments where being present mattered more than being successful. He was about to head home when his phone buzzed again. 3rd passenger. His last fare of the night. The address was a 24-hour diner. When Marcus pulled up, an older man stood outside, maybe 60. Weathered face, veteran's cap, holding a duffel bag. He climbed in slowly, like movement hurt. Where to? Marcus asked. The man was quiet a long time. Then I don't know, nowhere, anywhere. Just need to sit somewhere warm. Marcus understood. How long you been on the street? 3 years. The man's voice was rough. Used to have a life, house, wife. Then the war caught up with me. PTSD. I got mean. She left. Can't blame her. Lost the house. Lost everything. Been wandering since they drove. No destination. Just driving. What's your name? Marcus asked. Everyone calls me Sarge. I'm Marcus. You served 2 tours? Iraq. You? No. I was a teacher, biology, until I wasn't. They drove in silence. Brothers. In loss, different wars, same casualties. You ever think about ending it? Sarge asked suddenly. Brutally honest, Marcus didn't lie. Every day for 15 months. Tonight was supposed to be the night. What changed? Marcus thought about Lily, about Sarah, about how purpose doesn't die, it transforms. I don't know. Maybe nothing changed. Maybe I just postponed it. He paused. You thinking about it? Always thinking about it. Just don't have the courage. Or maybe I do, and I'm just too stubborn. Hard to tell the difference sometimes. They drove past the bridge. Marcus's bridge? Neither mentioned it. They didn't have to. Can I tell you something? Marcus said. Please. I thought teaching was my purpose. Classroom, students, curriculum. Then I lost it all. Tonight I helped 2 people. Really helped them. Not with biology or test scores. With life. With being present when they needed someone. And I realized maybe I was never supposed to be a classroom teacher forever. Maybe I was supposed to lose everything, so I'd be available for moments that matter more than lesson plans. Sarge looked at him. Really looked. You believe that? Tonight I do. Ask me tomorrow. Answer might be different, but tonight. I believe purpose finds you when you stop controlling it. I believe sometimes you have to lose your life to find your meaning. I believe we're both here right now because we're not done. Our stories aren't finished. The sun was rising, painting the city gold. Where do you want to go? Marcus asked. Really go? If you could go anywhere, Sarge thought. Used to volunteer at a VA center before I lost it. Talked to other vets, helped them process. I was good at it. It's made me feel useful. Want to go there? Marcus asked. Now, maybe they need volunteers. Maybe they need someone who understands. Sarge laughed. Bitter, but considering. I'm homeless. Who's going to listen to me? Other homeless vets. It's the ones who need to know someone understands. Someone who's been there. That's who. They drove to the VA center. It was early, but someone was there. A counselor setting up for the day. Marcus walked in with Sarge. Explained the situation. Asked if they needed volunteers. The counselor looked at Sarge. At Marcus. Said they always needed people who understood. Especially people who'd lived it. Gave Sarge an application, an appointment, a chance. When they walked out, Sarge was quiet. Then you just did that. Just walked in and asked. Yeah, why? Marcus thought about the 15 months, the darkness, the bridge. The 3 passengers who'd taught him more than he'd taught anyone, because I remembered something I forgot. Teaching isn't about classrooms. It's about showing up when someone needs you to. You needed me to walk in there with you, so I did. That's what teachers do. Sarge shook his hand, firm veteran's grip. Thank you, teacher. Marcus drove home as the sun rose. 15 months of darkness, 1 night of purpose. 3 strangers who'd saved his life by needing him to save theirs. He wasn't going back to that bridge. Not tonight, maybe not ever. Because he'd remembered something crucial. Your purpose doesn't require permission, position, or perfection. It requires presence. His teaching career hadn't ended. It had transformed. He'd lost the classroom, but found the calling. 3 passengers. 3 lessons. 3 reminders that impact doesn't happen in planned moments. It happens in the darkness, when broken people need light. Marcus Chen was still a teacher. It's not the kind he'd planned to be. And maybe that was the whole point. Maybe purpose never looks like you expect. Maybe it finds you when you stop looking. Maybe it transforms when you lose everything. Maybe it reveals itself in a taxi at 3 a.m. to people who need exactly who you've become. He pulled into his apartment. His phone buzzed. A text from an unknown number. This is Lily. I got help. Seeing a counselor tomorrow. Switching majors? Thank you for tonight. You saved my life. Then another. This is Sarah. My daughter's home. Fever's gone. I can't repay you, but I'll pay it forward. Thank you. Marcus sat in his taxi, crying, but different crying. Relief crying, purpose crying, alive crying. His life wasn't over. It had just begun. Different than planned, harder than expected, but real. So real. He typed a message to his ex-wife. First one in months. I know I can't undo the past, but I'm finding my way back. To purpose, to meaning, to being the man our daughter deserves. However long it takes, I'm not giving up. He pressed send. Then he looked at the sunrise. Golden, beautiful, possible. Marcus Chen had lost everything. His career, his family, his name, his certainty. But tonight he'd found something more valuable. Purpose doesn't die when plans do. It transforms, evolves, finds you in unlikely places, in taxi rides, in dark nights, in moments when strangers need exactly who you've become because of everything you've lost. He was still a teacher, teaching different lessons. Life lessons, purpose lessons, presence lessons. And maybe that was what he'd been preparing for all along.